aside. Hear the games. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Over the course of the last 3 days, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I went to tournament at a Sparkling Waters Hotel. Some of you may never know it. Some of you are not even close to the country. It was played in South Africa. And this tournament was interesting. It was a 6-round tournament, over the board, classical, with a time control of 1 hour and 30 minutes with a 15-second increment for each and every move. But unfortunately, they're not partnered with Leeches or chess.com, so we cannot analyze it with those engines or with those sites, you might say. So therefore, I took down some notations. And we're going to be analyzing my games. This will be round 2 because round 1 was played at 7 p.m. And I couldn't notate well because I was exhausted from traveling where I live to go to the tournament place and to go from the tournament place to my house. So it was very exhausting. So this is going to be round 2, by the way. Round 1 I won. That's another reason why we did not notate that well, because my first round opponent was easy. He was rated 1,178. But my second opponent was rated 1,468, while me, I'm 1,382. Therefore, this is going to be a tough match. I'm playing black, and we start the game with e4. I play e5. My opponent plays knight f3. I played my trusted Petrov. If you've been someone who has been through my journey of chess so far since I started posting 3 months back, I like to play the Petrov because I hate lines where I have to go into the Italian or the Ruy Lopez, because people are preparing extensively in these lines and it can get cagey, and I don't like those cagey middle games. So I decided not to. So the Petrov seemed like a good weapon, but end up going for the Sicilian, the knight off, trying to venture around it, maybe play the modern defense against e4, but we'll see. But he played knight c3. I'm saying she played knight c3. I respond and it becomes the 4 knights with knight c6. Plays d4. Everybody knows this. Takes. Now play my bishop. This is recommended by the engine. You can also take the knight, but mostly it's recommended by the engine for you to trap this, just in case any future project you want to capture this. Or after this capture, you capture with this. Then if anything else goes wrong, you can push. Something like that. But okay, there's a capture, and this bishop. This move on online chess, I've never seen it. On online chess, I normally see in these positions maybe queen here, maybe bishop here. Sometimes even my opponent even push down to attack my knight so that they don't lose this pawn and end up defending it extensively with the pawn and the bishop. But in this position, my opponent surprises me with this, which according to the computer is an advantage for me, but it's a very minor advantage, a micro advantage. In the position, I take my first think for like 5 minutes, and I decide, you know what, I don't have to take. In fact, no, I decided not. After takes, there's takes, and this bishop is staying here. But if he takes here, I can take with my queen, and my queen now is very powerful, and I can bring my bishop in as well at any chance that this bishop moves into b3 and carrot. So that was my idea. So instead, I took. He took back, and now here I sit thinking again. I'm like, after takes, there's too much going on in this. I'm risking. Am I willing to go through this? And at that moment, I was thinking, should I take? And if she takes, then I move here. Then she moves anywhere, maybe like even here. Then me, I'm attacking here, but I can't take back. So what am I exactly paying for? So instead, I decided to castle, which is actually top recommended move. Okay, I'm surprised. I decided to castle, and knowing that this pawn is really going on. If you push the pawn down, I can easily move my knight out the way, and I can attack the pawn with my rook and my queen. So I took it slow and steady, but the queen comes. As you can notice, there's a mate in one thread. Yeah, not really, But in the game, there's a point where I was hallucinating because it's late again. In fact, it was not late. It was the second round of the day. I played this at 8 a.m. So you can imagine that the last round before the day I played at 7 and we finished around 11. Now you go home and you rest and you try and analyze the previous game. And yeah, so I was kind of morning fatigue. So in this position, I was thinking of moves like this without actually thinking about it. I actually laughed at myself at the board. I think my opponent even saw me laughing at myself. I did a little smirk. Of course, there's no video evidence of that, but I did a little smirk because I was thinking of moves like this, like this. I was even thinking of a move like this, where after takes I can go here and attack this. If this bishop goes here, I can go here, and this is not, you can't push any pawn to defend, and I'm getting back my piece. So that's the moves I was thinking about, and I was just laughing myself. I was like, I'm actually willing to lose this game in 9 moves. I'm gonna lose it in 9 moves if I ever move this knight. So instead, I played pawn, and this is where I made a mistake. This is actually recommended as a mistake because I'm allowing my opponent to do more development as she long castles, and I realize, damn, my position is weak. It's not losing, but it's losing in a way, but it's weak. It's not really losing, but it's weak. So I continue the game by attacking, and here's where I blundered. If you are a chess player, you can literally see where I blundered here. I am not even supposed to play this. In fact, prior to that, in this position, my opponent, after castles, there's this. In this position, my opponent was actually supposed to go back here, so that if I make a move like, let's say this is a tactic. In fact, because I can't take because of the pressure here and the bishop coming in and everything, there's just too much. After this there's just too much going on around that file. So this is what I thought about. But in this position, my opponent played queen e3. I play rook, again another mistake. My opponent plays the right move. My opponent is a 1.2 advantage according to computer. So at this point, I'm just playing, but I'm playing almost, they say after you make one mistake in chess, you continue making the same mistake. But after this move, there's a mistake again. I would literally try to say, when you're playing chess, for example, this, when I moved this, I didn't even move it with thought. Again, I can blame exhaustion and all that, but when I move this piece here, it's not really doing anything. I'm just trying to prevent the bishop coming here. But when my king can move up, sure, I'm terrorizing this, but also I can move it back. So I was not thinking in like that type of aspect of I'm not actually losing if the bishop ever comes there. And because even the bishop comes there, I can still bring my other bishop, this bishop there, and block with my bishop. So I just wasted a move. Tempo down. My opponent blunders. Yeah. In this position, my opponent blunders. And immediately when she plays it, I'm not lying to you. Immediately when my opponent plays this, I go to the board because I was walking around. I go to the board. I write down a move and I play it. Immediately, I play knight d5. Of course, I'm not using chess.com engine, so I don't even know if this is a brilliancy or not. But here I was ecstatic. Her advantage prior to the bishop move was 1.8, but after the bishop move, that's 0.1. But it's only 0.1 if I find the right move, and I found it in an instant. Things that you can't take this because of course you lose your queen. Obviously, and yeah, obviously, and you can just, if you leave this, let's say you kind of move this, it's a wrong move because after takes, my rook is already ready to go into that file. My queen can also go into that file easily as well. So you must now defend with your queen. I take immediately, takes. And I again in this position after she blundered, I was seeing every move. This, in fact, here after this, I was kind of worried that she might play this. I But I was not really worried because my queen can stay here, and now I can start action with my rooks somehow. Try to figure out what I can do with my rooks. In fact, in this position, what's recommended by the engine mostly is just to push the spawn or to get into the position. One of those moves, whatever you choose. But the game does continue. He asks us for a queen exchange. I did deliberate for about 10 to 15 minutes, thinking if I go back and attack this, it'll be good, but the prospects are not really high because the rook comes and there's some pushing going on. I'm not really comfortable with that, so I was like, you know what, peace. I'm very good at endgames. The game continues. There's nothing like the pawns are the same. The only weakness that I have is the double pawns, but they are protected. So I push, she pushes, I push my king, she pushes this. But in this position, I was thinking to myself, before the king move, I could have pushed this. That's why, because there's this. No, there's not that, because it takes. Now you have 2 pawns which are weak, and you have 1 weak pawn as well. Why are these pawns weak? Because this bishop can't stay with this pawn forever, because at any point I'm gonna push like this and take over the center with these 2 pawns, and my rook are gonna be supported. I'm gonna be supporting these pawns. So I saw these ideas. So in this position, my opponent can try this, but this locking the position, so you can try to do this, but then there's this. And the whole idea is that anytime you push, I'm not even taking. Again, it's also kind of risky not to take, because assuming, let's just assume after push you push, there's always this. But the beauty of this position is that, if I've shown the engine, the beauty of the position is that I'm not actually losing. I am protecting as long as I don't blunder my pawn here. I mean, in actuality, I should not have allowed it to go down. In fact, the bishop move is wrong, obviously. But of course, I can, after here, I can take, because I'm being protecting here, obviously. But okay, we leave the engine alone. But yeah, I thought about this when I moved my king, but I was like, you know what, let's not do the past. I moved this, I was like, you know what, let's make some exchanges. Let's just draw. I'm low rated. Let's just do some elo from my opponent. I take, and here's where I'm at. After I took, revelation came into mind that instead I was thinking of takes only, because I thought takes was just bad here. But after takes, these rooks can double up easily. Now I was shocked. Like, how did I let myself in this position? Sure, you can say that I can move my bishop here, but the bishop can also be moved here. And now it only takes 2 more tempos to win the game. So yeah, tough. I move the bishop, close down my bishop. I don't want to take. I don't take. I move down to try to make this pawn a weak pawn and take this pawn. But it's, of course, check. I'm losing. I'm actually losing the game. Push down, this check, push back. My opponent blunders. I start breathing again. I am breathing because my opponent, I think, in her mind, she had this idea. With this idea, she can now stack up. And the game is, of course, hers now. There's nothing else I can do. After the stack, I can't even come here. So now I have to try, but no, because there's so much domination. But my opponent, of course, misses it. After this, I think my opponent thought, again, it's just such a good, beautiful tactic. But if only my bishop was not there, because it would have been checkmate. Because I can't go anywhere. But my opponent blunders it. Now I'm back in the game. I'm actually the one who's winning. The game continues, maneuvering. In this position, I actually did not take there, because there's this. Then of course you can go back. Of course you're up a piece. It doesn't really matter. But the game went on like normally. The game went on normally. And around this part, I offered my opponent a draw. She took the draw. And yeah, I have 1.5 out of 6. Of course, I know the result of the end of the game, the end of the tournament, I mean. But tomorrow will be another recap. It was a very exhausting tournament. It was not really a good ending, but it was an interesting tournament. My first FIDE tournament in 2024, and I loved the implement of it. Meeting new people that I never knew had this much talent. People with 0 rating who play like their grandmasters. That was very interesting. But yeah, if you like the video, sub up, man. Show some love. Yeah, we continue playing chess.